Imagine a battle where thousands of men are wounded or dead. The only thing missing was the enemy. No ambush, no surprise attack, no heroic last stand. Just panic, alcohol, and a chain of bad decisions so absurd it barely sounds real.
Yeah, this is already going great.
We're usually taught that war is serious business. Strategy, discipline, two sides facing each other, planning every move like a game of chess. But on one very unlucky night in September 1788, history didn't play chess. It tripped over its own feet and fell down the stairs. This is one of the most notorious military disasters on record, a moment where an army didn't lose to the enemy. It lost to itself. Welcome to Karánsebes.
This is where it all goes wrong.
The year is 1788. The Austrian Empire and the Ottoman Empire are on a collision course. Emperor Joseph II wants a decisive victory. Not just a win, a legacy. Something that earns him a nickname like Joseph the Great.
Spoiler, that nickname did not stick.
So he assembles a massive force. On paper, it looks unstoppable. Nearly 100,000 men. In reality, the army had a serious design flaw. It wasn't really Austrian. It was a patchwork of Austrians, Hungarians, Serbs, Croats, Italians, and that's just the short list. Many of these soldiers didn't share a common language. Orders were given in German. Half the men didn't understand them. The rest pretended they did.
Everyone nodded. Nobody understood a word.
The chain of command was fragile on a good day. At night, under stress, it was a disaster waiting to happen. All the gunpowder was there. All it needed was a spark. That spark came in liquid form. On the night of September 17th, the army camped near Karánsebes, in what is now Romania. The plan was simple. Find the Ottomans, surround them, end the war quickly.
What could possibly go wrong?
A group of hussars, light cavalry, confident, well-paid, and very aware of it, rode ahead to scout across a nearby river. They didn't find the enemy. What they did find was local traders selling barrels of schnapps.
Honestly, way better.
The hussars bought the alcohol. All of it. They set up a party by the river. No tents, no guards, just drinking and congratulating themselves for not being infantry. Eventually, the infantry arrived. Tired, dusty, completely sober. They saw the party. They wanted in. The hussars refused.
Absolutely not sharing.
Alcohol makes people friendly, until it doesn't. Words turned into shoves, shoves turned into punches, and then someone fired a rifle into the air. To scare off the infantry and protect their precious schnapps, the hussars made a terrible decision. They shouted, "Turci! Turci! Turks! Turks!" Fear spread faster than any enemy ever could. The infantry panicked and ran straight back toward camp, shouting warnings they didn't fully understand themselves. Seeing soldiers sprinting through the dark, the hussars paused. If the infantry was running, maybe this wasn't a joke anymore. So they did what every confident cavalry unit does in a crisis. They joined the panic. In seconds, the retreat became contagious. Men were running because others were running. No one knew why. They just knew it felt urgent. In the darkness, chaos took over. Shouting echoed in languages no one else spoke. Gunshots went off for reasons no one could remember. Someone tripped. Someone screamed. Someone fired back. Units mistook noise for orders, orders for threats, and threats for enemies. Officers tried to take control, but by then, control was already gone. An army wasn't fighting an enemy anymore. It was fighting confusion, shadows, and its own imagination. Soldiers fired at movement. Movement fired back. Cavalry charged shapes in the dark. The shapes turned out to be infantry. The infantry responded exactly how you'd expect, with gunfire. There was no enemy, but there was no stopping this either. The noise reached the artillery in the rear. They assumed the camp was under attack, so they opened fire.
This did not help.
Even Emperor Joseph II fled. According to later accounts, he fell into a creek while escaping, from an enemy that didn't exist. By sunrise, the damage was irreversible. Thousands were dead or wounded, and still, No Ottomans. 2 days later, the real Ottoman army arrived. They found chaos, exhaustion, and a broken force. They advanced almost unopposed. The Battle of Karánsebes wasn't lost because of strategy, weapons, or a brilliant enemy general. It was lost because of bad communication, panic, and cheap alcohol. Sometimes your greatest enemy isn't across the border. Sometimes it's chaos, and sometimes it's a drunk guy yelling the wrong thing at the wrong time. History remembers victories, but disasters like this? These are the legends. If you enjoyed this absurd chapter of human history, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the top left video to see how the Australian Army lost a war to birds. We'll see you in the next historical disaster. Thanks for watching.